Hello everyone and welcome to another episode in the world of Ford Focus Mark 1s and another episode as usual on Nick's CL. Yes, it is the next episode. There was a couple of things that I wanted to just mention before we get out there straight away. It's a very hot sunny day and I've got a lot of work to do. I don't know how much I'm going to get completed today because Nick needs to come and go within about 8 hours, which should be plenty of time, but with a bit of filming it might take a bit longer. But this is quite an important episode. But I just want to relay a couple of things. Since the last couple of episodes, with all those multiple jobs that cause such a pain and misery, there have been a few things we've done to the car. Namely, Nick came to me about 2 weeks after that video, and we completely de-rusted, treated, primed, undersealed, put a bit of lanyard guard all over the arches and the underside, apart from the rear suspension, because that's going to all be binned at some point. So we just wanted to concentrate on the bodywork. We didn't do any filming. It was messy, it was horrible, and quite frankly, it wouldn't have made for a particularly good video. I've done it on my own cars. You've seen those videos. I didn't need to show it. But we've also removed the rear arch, for the sort of rear arch carpets. Mainly one of them kind of disintegrated. There was a bit of welding that needed doing on the passenger side that was done later, not by me, by a local garage near to Nick. It's a decently neat job. It was just a little hole in the arch down by where the sill is, but it's all been patched up quite nicely. Just a bit ugly, so it needs to be grinded a little bit to make it look nice. But the car is absolutely solid. I'm glad to report that we haven't found any holes apart from that, and it was in the typical area. So now the car's been undersealed and protected, and we did lose a wheel trim. Those of you who watched the motorist episode will notice that Nick had lost one of them wheel trims that I fitted in that episode, so he's got and bought a genuine one. Just a single one. He didn't lose them. The garage lost one after he had some tyres changed. Typical. I think they didn't either put it on properly or they didn't put cable ties on it. So yeah, if you've got trims on, you might want to put cable ties on them like I've done. But anyway, let's get out there. There's a lot to be done. The subject of today is brake drums. We're going to be changing the brake drums, brake shoes, wheel cylinders, rear hoses, with a fitting kit, with a new bearing fitted to the drum, pre-fitted, that's what you generally get these days, and a couple of other bits and pieces. Also, I might have a chance to put a new handbrake in, a handbrake cable and a handbrake lever, because the other one's been chewed up. We have a few little extras here and there, because there's tons of parts out here. So let's get going. I've got a present for him. Hello. What are you messing with today? Hello, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. A lovely sunny day.
It is. It's quite warm.
Yeah, I know. It's not the sort of day I want to be doing this sort of job. We should be at a car show, but, you know, to get to a car show, we definitely need a few things to be done in this department. I've got a present for you, buddy. It's not what you think. Yeah, it's not what you think it is.
You give me your samples?
No, yeah, it's definitely a sample. It's a sample of car shampoo. It's a neutralising lemon-scented car shampoo. Try it. Just try it out on this car and give it a go. I've tried it. I'm not a massive fan of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it smells like piss.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I've mixed a bit in then. Sorry about that. I was just christened it for you. Yeah, give it a go.
Might
but anyway,
be later, though.
yeah, exactly. Well, as we can see, guys, and now do forgive my camera work today because the sun is shining on the back of this camera and I can't see what I'm aiming at. But what you can see is tons of car parts. Nick's been busy ordering these bits and pieces and I've been busy telling him what to get and what not to get. And for this sort of job, it escalates a lot. And this is where it starts, getting these rear brakes sorted properly and doing it properly, not doing a little job and then missing out half the other bits and pieces. We're doing it all. We do it properly and we do it once. And Nick will never have to, I will never have to look at these brakes for many, many years. We've got some new drums. I think they're Pagid, with the built-in bearing at the bottom. Okay, So we've got the new bearing with the snap ring. It's easy to push these in and out, but they just come fitted to the drum, so why not? And we're going to give these a bit of a spray up, because this is bare metal. It will start rusting straight away, so we're going to give these a bit of a spray up. But yeah, these are all good. There's 2 of them. We've also got a new handbrake lever that hasn't been butchered, so we'll clean that up and fit it. It's got the micro switch for the handbrake warning light down there. So yeah, lever assembly, CL Zetec LX. Wow, it's applicable to all of them because it's just got a vinyl cover on the handbrake. Brake fluid, brake cleaner. We have brake shoes in here. Okay, so we got the train arm and the handbrake actuated. Okay, and then we've got some, what have we got in here, mate? Oh, we've got some brake hoses. There you go, rear brake hoses for drum brake models. We've got the short handbrake. Now, this is the thing. I'll just come over here. Thanks, Dave, for giving this. Dave ordered this for his Focus Silver, the famous Focus Silver on my channel that I'm going to see in the flesh at some point. He bought the wrong handbrake. Dave ordered some handbrake cables and realised they were for the drum models. Yeah, the drum and disc brake models have got 2 different handbrake cables, 2 different lengths and fittings as well. That's where it goes through the back of the hub, and it connects. The cute Quinton Hazel is a really good name round by here. They're still going, and their parts are really quality, actually, to be fair. Cheap, but quality. They never have anything that's failed on me yet. And we also have the short cables. And these short cables basically allow you, and I'm going to need to use this, these cables allow you to disconnect the handbrake from the actual drum if you were to, let's say, remove the suspension. So instead of actually having to take the drums off and disconnect everything internally, you can just disconnect it from here. Quite a good handy thing. And people change the handbrakes and they don't change this bit, and I think that's a false economy because these can also stretch as well. And as some of you have seen, we've got a handbrake drum fitting kit with springs, clips, pins, everything you need. It's all in there, even the little return spring for the adjusters, and that's going to be a source of headaches for this video. We've got a couple of seals here and there for the wheel cylinders. We've also got a kit for the wheel cylinders. We've got some little bolts and nipples. Oh, by the way, this comes as all this comes as part as this. So this is the parts number, and Nick has ordered some genuine wheel cylinders. Not even I've done this. 2020. Look at this. Now, if you look here, these are completely genuine. Lovely, and a pack full of grease, and that's really nice actually. So it all comes as a fitting kit, and this is the way you do it. You do not change all this stuff without changing your wheel cylinders. Do not rely on the wheel cylinders still functioning, because you're going to take your drums off again if they start leaking. So you might as well do this at the same time, new hoses, and start from scratch. And this is all we've got today. But we have got a couple of things that I'm going to just start on, just to get going, really. Nick has been really good, and he's actually got hold of 4 genuine HT leads. Now, these HT leads on George are actually from Jazabella, and like all aftermarket ones, they don't quite fit properly, and I don't like this. So these are all just going to have to come out. I've had enough, and to be fair, I don't trust them. Genuine ones are really hard to get, and all these are great, aren't they, mate?
Yeah.
Some of them. Well, this one looks newer to me because it was made in 2016. Contents made in Mexico, made by the bloody Mexicans. Jesus Christ.
Beep.
Don't know, Mike Bassett impressing them Mexicans. So these look older. These labels look far older to me, and the packets are much more different, older prints. I love the packets, don't you guys? I love the packets. So definitely keep the packets, Nick. You never know. But all the parts numbers were collated. I did give this out in one of my live streams, and these are going to be fitted. And this is going to get you back, I think, some lost electricity, put it this way, because I think the aftermarket ones they get old really easily. The original ones on mine lasted 20 years and I've still got them in the boot. They are very high quality, so Nick will never have to look at this again, and it's definitely recommended. But anyway, I'm going to just nail these in and then we'll get on with the job. Right, that little clip off, this is just to keep it nice and tidy. Right, okay, so what we have here, number 4, actually, no, number 3 is to the left. Just take them out one at a time and replace them one at a time. Number 3, quite handy this is. No, number 4. Genuine ones also tell you what the numbers are as well. So just first open these packets for the first time in God knows how many years. It's really satisfying. You don't know how long these have been on the shelf for. Yeah, I've got the writing and FOMOCO. Yep, the usual writing. And we're just going to pop that in. That's lovely, that. Now, by the way, this is another thing that's different. So, the genuine ones, if you see here, the genuine ones have a little clip, and that clip allows you to get the positive sound you get. Listen, did you hear that? Little positive click there. The original ones just slip on. The aftermarket ones just slip on. There's no clip, so there's no way of securing it to the coil pack other than friction, and that's one of the things I don't like about these blasted things. The bin of shame is going to be quite full by the end of the day. Anyway, I'm just going to get on replacing all of them one at a time, and yeah, I'll speed this up a bit. And there you go. So all the leads, these are the old leads, we'll keep these. This clip, wasn't happy with it. This is probably a clip that came with the aftermarket, these aftermarket leads. We'll get a genuine one. We'll probably end up stealing one from a scrapyard car at some point. But look how neat this is, honestly. This is exactly how it should be. That clip should go here, really, but they all snug down, and it's really nice to see the numbers and the lettering. Doesn't that look nice, mate?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
It's genuine.
Right, shall we just check that how it starts and just see if there's anything visual? No, just start it up, just see how it is. Smooth as a whisper. Give it a bit of gas. And again. Okay, get it off. That will hopefully get you a little bit more power. However, as some of you may have heard, we might have a fraction of an air leak going on around here. That's going to be one of the jobs in the future, to sort all the gaskets out for the inlet manifold, clean the inlet manifold. That'll be a lovely job. Probably the next job on this car, to be honest. But that, Nick, will probably get you more power. And you might find that on the motorway, this engine works even less than what it's been doing so. So fingers crossed. With that new coil pack and these HT leads, you get the problem is a 1.4 in a Focus. Is a little bit on the underpowered side, but it's not that bad. But you have to keep it at its absolute maximum efficiency, i.e., coil pack, plugs, leads, which is this is all had done now. So hopefully it will just keep getting better gradually. And I do recommend this, guys. When you're changing sensors, I like to change sensors one at a time, because then you can actually monitor and feel the difference. And you'll know if one particular sensor has made a difference. If you change if you change 3 and 4 at the same time, and there's a bit of a difference afterwards, well, how are you going to know which one's made the difference? So do things one at a time. So this has been kind of deliberate, really, with the HTLEs and the coil pack and the spark plugs being done all in different episodes. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, this is now done, and we're on to the proper job. He says, this is the hard bit, isn't it?
Yes.
See how we get into this rusty backside. I'm anticipating a problem. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to give the camera to Nick. So if the camera work is poor, I'm blaming him because I need to get stuck into here and concentrate. If there's anything specific, I will grab the camera and show you. Okay, Nick, over to you.
Andrew, is this going to be a two-part?
It's going to be about a 6-parter by the time I've finished. Blasted shield. By the way, guys, just take these shields off. It just sits here underneath the handbrake cable. It's useless. I just don't know what this is. It's just horrible. It's just held in with these clips. That is now going, that's going in the bin of shame, like 10, 20 million parts today. Yeah, just allow that to give you access. I'm going to have to use the bigger jack because I just realised that I'm going to have to use good axle stands for this job. So jack up on the chassis rail and put the jack, the axle stands on the sills. You can do it the opposite way. You can put the axle stands on the chassis rails, whichever way, but I'm going to be using a lot of things because I'm going to be going under the car later. So excuse me, I'm going to jack up all 4 corners of this car for a couple of different reasons. We've jacked up the rear of the car. I actually haven't done the front yet because I'm quite a thin guy. But if you're a bit bigger than me, like most people, you're going to have to jack the front up if you want to do the handbrake. But as you can see here, we've got a couple of axle stands going on here, so we've got doubled up. So I've got the jack on that side with 2 axle stands. I've got 2 axle stands on this side, 1 on the sill and 1 on the inner chassis leg, okay? The inner chassis leg is the bit between the fuel tank and the sill. It's sort of in between, so that's ideal. Anyway, let's get this whacked off. Then that. Now put this tyre straight underneath the sill. Lovely.
Change the tyre?
Yes, you have changed the tyres. Yes, I did notice that. Half.
2, new.
Good.
Back to part 1.
Brilliant. That's fine. That will get you going. Perfect. That's all you need. Right, so we have the drum area. So Nick, if you just camera. So we're doing a bit of combined camera work here. Now we can see the state of the rear suspension. It's going to have to be looked at. I don't know whether I'm going to be doing that or local garages is going to be doing that because time is not my friend, and that's a couple of days job you've got to give yourself. But as you can see, this is what we're left with when we took the arches off. Now this area looks funny. It's starting to get a bit funny again, but it's mostly okay. As it's been patched up here and patched up here. This is the area it went on the other side, which I'll show you in a bit later. But yes, so we've got the small handbrake cable, then we've got the massive cable that connects to this piece. It's really difficult to detach, and it's held in with a little 7mm screw, and then it goes all the way down through there. Unfortunately, this bit I'm going to demonstrate why that is a problem, but we're going to have to drill that out because usually they're gone. But these drums get really bad on these. This hose is also going to be taken out. I'm just going to sort of try and slacken it off. There we go, it just comes out of that holder. And then I've got to try and undo this. It's a new brake line, copper brake line, so that, I'm glad that's all been done. As you can see, the undersealing process has sort of occurred a little bit. And yes, we put some lanyard guard in places, and it's all looking pretty good. Really, it was a really, really messy job. But anyway, I'm going to now ask my assistant to... well, actually, no. Actually, before we take the handbrake cable off, I need to undo the hub nut, and that's ideal when the handbrake is actually on. So we need a screwdriver. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, well, we'll reuse one. It doesn't really matter. These can be a bit funny to get out, but just get a screwdriver into that little notch. They end up getting crushed and all that, but just use that. And we've got this hub nut at the back here, and I'm not going to take any prisoners with this, to be honest with you. I'm not bothering. There we go. Cracked off straight away. There's nothing gets past this. Okay, these nuts are now in the bin because it's a bit of a different design at the rear there. That's interesting. But yeah, these nuts, they've got like a sort of shield on them, and these threads, they are a special laminated design. You can only reuse them 4 times. So at the end of the day, I'm making a mark on the new ones we've got. But when you do this job, just get new ones. If you're not sure, get new ones, because you don't want to be that person that puts it on one too many times. Now, we've got this problem. I can't get it off. Of course, this is where most people get the sodding tool. They put the tool on. Oh, I can't wind it off. It still won't come off. Yeah, because the handbrake's still on. You might actually find it comes off without much force. Okay.
You know what?
Yep.
I think the handbrake's not working on that side.
Why?
Because it didn't move.
Didn't move at all.
I had it on that side.
But not this side.
No.
That's not a good sign. Another reason why today is going to be...
Challenging.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Club of the hammer. It's already moved.
Challenging.
Challenging? Yes. Okay, that is quite good. Now, getting it off the bearing away from the stub axle is quite tricky. You can try and give it a few twists. Now, you might have to... It's quite loose, that is. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Might sound a bit graunchy.
That sound a bit beep it.
It could just be loose rust within the drum, to be honest. I wouldn't worry too much. No. Might have to use another socket just to protect the stub axle. Okay. So basically, this is a puller. It winds onto the drum, and it will just push the drum away from the stub axle. Now, this is what you have to do with this Connor tool. You can have the three-legged ones or the two-legged ones. I've got both actually. But what you have to do is get two of the nuts, clamp it down. Okay. 24mm, or I think it's 24mm on this. What I've done is I've put an 11mm socket just to put pressure on the stub axle, just to protect from the thread actually damaging the end of the stub axle as we're screwing it in. Because that's what we're doing, we're screwing it in and forcing the drum away from the stub axle. If I just do this, yeah, just take your time, keep watching. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's gone. Lovely. Just wind it nicely out. There we go. It's gone a bit freer now. Oh, yeah, it's completely gone. And that feels a lot more freer, and the bolt should be, there we go. Yeah, that's almost gone now. I'm just going to keep winding it just to the point where it comes straight out. Okay, it has gone a bit cockeyed here, so what we're going to do, we're going to take the tool completely off. Okay. Okay, so we're taking the hub nut back out. God, this is like a pain, but it should come now. Go. Oh. Sometimes you might need to use a slide hammer, it's that bad. Jesus. Why is that oil there? Oh, I didn't put that there. Oh, that's not oil. That's bearing grease. Yeah, your bearing's coming apart. The grease has just completely escaped from the bearing. Good job we're doing this. That is trash. I mean, there's scoring in a lot of places. Well, I want to get the tool actually.
I want the tool first.
Excuse me. Jesus. Actually, we can see the tip back in the day was to, this is the original cylinder, is to actually pry back. I'm sorry, my screwdriver's gone somewhere. But basically you pry this boot back to see if there's any leakage. But it's not brake fluid, this is grease. But the axle looks fine, there's no scoring, no nothing. No, it's fine. Do you know what? There's no brake fluid leaks. I can tell instantly because by now there'd be enough to just leap out everywhere. But if there's any moisture behind these boots, that's the wheel cylinder starting to go, but probably not enough to leak down. But I can see there's quite a lot of meat on this one. These have been changed, definite. There's quite a bit of meat on this. And this is starting to get a bit thin, but actually they're well within spec. Yeah, so we got the bottom springs containing the shoes. We've got the handbrake, which is this bit on the lever, just pulls this lever and then it pulls this adjuster inwards. We've got the self-adjuster, which I'm just going to do now. I'm just going to push it in. Ooh, it's actually stuck in. That's actually really stuck. Oh, no, I've just clicked it in. But basically, that's how you adjust the shoes. I'm going to show you how to do that properly in this episode. Okay, first things first, I just want to take all these gummings out. Don't just push these clips in, push them in, and pull. There's going to be a lot of swearing. There we go. That's just a clip that pushes down and holds the pin. And the pin will come out from the back side like that. Rusty as fuck. Lovely. Yeah. And just do the same with this one. Just put it down. Doesn't matter. There we go. Done. And oh, that pin was stuck. And just put that there. That's why you need a fitting kit, guys. And now we're all loose. Okay, now we can just take all this out as a complete assembly. The shoes will be stuck at the bottom. So what you might want to do is take this bottom spring out. Now this is where you've got to be really careful. I'm going to try. There we go. It's gone already. I've just flicked it out. And then just pull that. Now, handbrake is just stuck into this handbrake lever. What you might have to do is just try and angle it so it comes back out. Now what I'm going to do is let's take this spring out. Don't need this. This is the bottom spring. Okay. And then, so it just allows a bit of playing there. Oh, come on. There we go. Out. There we go. Done. Handbrake's off. Okay. So I'm going to just introduce you that into a second. So the long piece goes on that side, and then just up there. Okay. Just hook it there. No problem. Right. So this is all nicely done, and we've got this cylinder exposed. We've got a lot of brake dust. We're going to have to wear a mask in a bit. We are changing this bit, this section of the handbrake. Now what we're going to have to do, we've got these clips that it goes into. Now you might have to get a bit of a hammer to this. So I'm just going to hammer those clips in because it's just splined in. It can be a bit of a pain to get this out, but just smash it into the corner. Oh, there we go. You see, it's gone. It's already gone in. And, there we go. Sharp knot. There we go. It's gone through. Right. Take this out, and we can just disconnect. Well, to be fair, you most likely find it's absolutely seized. What I'm going to do, very carefully, is remove the handbrake side, if I can. Just a pair of pliers and try and break it free. I've got a feeling this is usual. It actually completely seizes into this bracket, so that won't really want to come undone. This is the problem. They just seize into the holder. This is probably the design flaw that I've said. So if you wanted to change bits on the suspension and disconnect the drum from the handbrake, you just disconnect it using this. The problem is it's seized right in there. I'm not going to worry about that too much because we're going to be dealing with that handbrake in a bit. So, not a laugh. So, just pop that up. Now, we're going to go to another part here because this is part of the disconnection. Disconnecting this blasted bugger. Now, it's important not to take the cap off the brake master cylinder with the reservoir because unfortunately brake fluid is going to come out all over the place. So, we're going to need a flare spanner. We're going to need a little bit of a pick.
What size?
Now, what you've got to do with this brake pipe union, sorry about the camera, actually this is really hot today, and you just loosen this, just loosen the clip by just disturbing it. Okay, now that's going to pull out with my pliers, but don't pull it out yet, because you've got to take the union off. You can't take the union off. If this clip is free, it's just the union's going to spin. Oh, it's starting to drip brake fluid already. That's good. Now, there is something that I've got, and it's called one of my famous bungs, which I've just dropped over here. Okay, and that's what's going to go at the end of the pipe, just to ensure that, oh yeah, it's completely cracked off this as well. 11mm on the union. The original unions are 11, and this has all been done. There is a chance that the pipe can twist with the union, but eventually the union will just break off the pipe and yeah, it's just spinning and the pipe isn't spinning. There you go. I'm just going to take that out of the brake hose now. Just windy. Right, now, there we go. Straight on. Done. There we go. All done. That's not going to leak now. Excess brake fluid everywhere. It's a messy job. Now we can just take this out at our leisure. Just pull. There we go. Lovely. So we're going to need that for later. There we go. And it just splines into there. Lovely. Okay. Now what we need to do is take out this. I can't remember what spanner I need. I'll go and try and find a suitable one. Oh no, actually it isn't. Is it a 15 and it won't go on? Can't remember the last time. Ah, yes. It's just a bit rusty. Right, here we go. And remember, go this way. Sorry, camera. There we go. That's all nice and loose off the wheel cylinder. Just wind it out. Obviously, this has got to spin, so you've got to disconnect it from the pipe. This is the order that you do things. It's worked for me over the years. It's typical, isn't it? Honestly, you can't pick a good day to do these things.
Have we worked in the rain?
Well, kind of. I think the first time you came with me with Jazabella, it was absolutely hammering down. Can you remember that day? We took the bumper off. Swapped the bumper for the rubbish one, which is now in pieces. I've been slowly cutting it up and... Right, there you go. That's your old hose. Ready for the jump pile. Okay. So now that's completely free. Now at the back we can see these two little bolts. We've got this brake nipple which is going to come off. Unfortunately, this is what's going to take the most of the time. You might have to cut this off because unfortunately there's no other way of doing it. They seize and round. We're going to try a bit of penetrating fluid, but this might take a while. Honest to God, this thing is a nightmare. Look at this. Honestly, look at these tools. I started with the Dremel. You just cut underneath as you saw in that video. Half an hour later with this and this, trying not to nip the stub axle, being very careful. I've actually weakened it. So what you're doing is you're cutting on this side. You're not cutting on that side where the bolts are. You can't get around that. So actually, you can almost get this out. The only thing is I've actually got to try and force this through, but it's weak now and we've broken one of the studs. You just got to try and wiggle it out. What an absolute pain this is. I'm absolutely sweating hot. I've squeezed all the brake fluid out as possible with this thing, but honestly there's no right way of doing this, but cutting it out is the only way you're going to have to do it, because all the bolts will be rounded. It's as simple as that. All the originals are going to be the same. Strange enough, this bolt, there's one bolt holding it on. One snapped, this one, but this bolt has actually come loose because I think I've cut half of it. That's why. It's getting loose. There we go. That's why. There we go. So you can see what I was cutting. So this is what you got to do, guys. You got to cut into that, and I will snap that one out. But that's completely gone through. But look, that's why it started to turn. And yeah, in the bin of scrap like everything else. So we are left with some scrape markings. Now what Nick is going to do with a mask is wire brush this down to prepare this side. Me, I've got to do the other side. Mark 1 ownership is not nice at this age. Do excuse the sort of stop-start nature of this video, but I want to try and get as much information in as possible. But it's hot, the environment is awful, we're covered in brake fluid, oil, rust and everything, and I've just been angle grinding the other side, and thankfully the wheel cylinder did come off. I'll just show you this actually. So the drum came off quite easy. The drum came off really easy on that side. Nicky's just wire brushing the inside of the shoe down. just a little bit, well, the drum I should say, but where is it gone? It's this one. Look at that. That is the hose connection. It just snapped the whole thing. This is why you change your wheel cylinders, because everything just snaps. You start again, and yet this side came out absolutely fine. It just goes to show. But yeah, this one came out, oh actually that wasn't the one, this is the one. Yep. Look at that, just sheared right in, honestly. But anyway, we've got the shoes sorted. I've just laid them out, it's all prepared. I'm going to have to sort the handbrake out, otherwise Nicky's going to go home without a handbrake. Not to worry, because the brakes will work, it's just the handbrake that won't be connected, because I am getting really hot. This is not nice work. Right, so we got the passenger side brake, and then the right-hand side. Now, what we have here, I've laid out all the springs. Now, I can't see my camera, so do forgive me if I'm not pointing in the right direction. The screen, it's just so bright out here. So, we have a top spring. All the genuine ones are blue, by the way. Okay, we're replacing these. So what we're going to do is move all these out the way now. Okay, we're going to discard all these. Okay. What we've left with, now we've got a little spring for the adjuster. We have got one there actually, but I'm not sure whether I'll change that. We'll see, because this one never causes an issue. But basically the adjuster just clips into there, okay, for the train arm for the handbrake. Okay, this is the way it sits on this side, by the way, and it just hooks in this bit, okay, where the adjuster is, into this bit. Now this adjuster, I'll tell you how to adjust it later, but you've got the two cogs, okay, that move side by side, and they pull in or out, okay, it will pull the shoes in or out. It's very simple. This shoe, this spring will kind of go in there like that, and it will sort of hook in to there like that, that hole there, okay. This one will hook in through here, okay, and hook in to another hole here. And then what you do then is you offer it up to the drum with this disconnected. So you just hook this one in, and we're going to use a tool to pull this spring this way. It's going to be impossible to do this by hand, I will tell you that. You're going to hurt your fingers, okay. But anyway, this is the old shoe. What we're going to do is move it all across to here, okay. Now I'm just going to go about changing all these springs, so I'll cut back once I've done that and prepared. It's very simple. By the way guys, bit of brake cleaner, clean this up, wire brush these surfaces, just clean it up, okay. These adjusters do not work when they should be working, and you can replace them, but the same thing will happen. Sometimes you get wear on the actual steps, the little cogs, but that's sometimes down to me using a screwdriver. I'll show you that later, but yeah. Next, wheel cylinders. Put these on obviously before you put the shoes on. These bungs, these are very handy for sealing brake pipes. Don't lose them, keep them. And then obviously the brake bleeder. Now, brake bleeder, you can put it in either side, I believe. Yeah, you can. So in this side, you put it here, okay? So the brake hose will go into the one to the rear on this side. But anyway, just tighten that up. I will tighten that more. And we've got these two nice new screws, and simply insert and put your screws in. Where do we start? Yeah, well, I've been snapping at Nick, and nothing's really gone right today. And I'm snapping because I'm worried, because I don't like leaving cars in a state where the brakes are a bit suspect. And when you're dealing with brakes, there's only one way of doing it, and that's the right way. And we've had a lot of problems in the last 2 hours. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to film anymore today because I'm annoyed. We're both hot. And this is the reality of Mark 1 ownership. I remember the brake disc drum job on my own Focus, and I remember it being a bit of a pain. and this has brought back a lot of memories, but this car is a lot worse than that. Hi Nick, you alright? We haven't fallen out yet, have we?
No.
Not quite. But I'll tell you what,
Cocked up twice.
it's cocked up a couple of times, but
That's
I
not
cocked
you
up.
with me.
Well, I've cocked up once. Right. So, what's the first failure? These are no good. Unfortunately, these came in the kit. They are aftermarket. They look decent. I've had to fit them and then bash them out. Why? Well, because the length of this is completely different to the original. In fact, when it was fitted, it was like bowing out like that. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So we had to stick the old one back in. Unfortunately, this side is absolutely fine. We've fitted the cylinder, shoes, pins, all in. We've had to reuse some of the old springs because a couple of the new springs are not very good. Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one. This one up there is a new one. That's an old one. Okay. Also, have you noticed that I've had to reconnect the brake hose again? Yes. This is yet another failure. Thanks, mate.
What the hell is that?
It was the same parts number. What the heck is this from? Don't tell me this is from a disc brake model. Oh, do you know something? Yeah, as soon as I saw this, we had to break off the one that had broken on the wheel cylinder. Rubbish. And then another problem. We couldn't get all this seated properly because I don't like these pins for a start. I think they're rubbish. I think these pins are rubbish. I've had to reuse a spring there because I wasn't happy with that spring. I've had to reuse that one at the bottom. Oh, and you can tell that the handbrake has not been connected up. Why is that? This ferrule, this spring is utterly seized. We have tried. My fingers are dead. Well, my fingers are completely dead. I've had enough today. So Nick is going to go home with one handbrake. Not this one, that one, because it's rubbish. I'm not doing the handbrake today. I think that's a fair point in case when we got so far. I'm going to put a tiny bit of grease on here. I'm going to put the drum on. We're painting the drums currently. Okay, so they're going to be done, and they'll be torqued up to around 235 Newton meters while spinning the wheel. Okay, so you torque it up, you torque the nut up while spinning the wheel, and then it's done. You will not have a problem with, you won't have to worry about the wheel falling off or something like that. It won't come off. Okay, the hub nut will do the job. It will be torqued up, and that will be the first mark that I make. These wheel cylinders are really good. They've got some nice new bolts here, and it's all sitting really nicely. So there's some positivity here. But we've had a bit of a loss today. I've had enough. This is the kind of job where if this was my car, I'd leave it overnight, come back another day. But Nick has to go home. I've had enough. So yeah, I and Nick are going to say goodbye to you in this rather rubbish episode. But this is the reality of Mark 1 ownership, and YouTubing, as you understand, takes second precedence, because I've got to get the rest of the job done in about 2 hours. So you forgive that I'm not going to film. So from me and Grumpy Nick, we're all grumpy today. It's just one of those things again. And the lesson is, aftermarket parts.
Ah, shit. Keep buying.
Yeah.
Don't bleep it out.
Yeah, literally. Oh dearie me. Nicky's not looking any better. No. Grumpy Nick, grumpy Andrew. Yeah. I'll tell you what a pain that was. Even getting the drums on was a pain. I don't know, honestly, the only difficulty with that is obviously the shoes are thicker. Yeah, the drums were really hard to get over, but eventually we've got a good handbrake, haven't we? Yeah. We've actually established one thing, is we've now adjusted this handbrake cable by that nut. So we've adjusted it there. We've basically put our foot on the foot brake to set the wheel cylinders out, the adjuster out, pushing the shoes out. But I've got to be honest with you, I don't think they could go out, to be honest with you. It was that tight, but there was some movement. That wheel is well adjusted. This one feels a bit tighter, so hopefully we'll wear it in, but the wheel seems a bit stiffer. Not like it's binding, but very close to binding. So I'm just going to see if it will just bed in a little bit, because there's no other issues there. We've adjusted the handbrake lever, and this is the way you do it. You know, you kind of just, you adjust the wheels properly at the back, and that's a good handbrake. That is 4 clicks, and that is solid as a handbrake. So yeah, we've got there in the end, but we've had some casualties. So unfortunately, as I've explained in this video, Nick's got to go back home. Leaving the car here is really just not an option. Not for him, because he's got to get the train back. It's a long way. So we've connected the handbrake on that side. We could not connect it on this side for various different reasons, because we need a new short section. That section was completely gone. So he's only got the handbrake on that side. The main thing is the foot brake works, and that's all that it is. So what you're going to do is you're going to the garage Monday to sort that little section out. Just as I say, we'll get a brand new section, genuine Ford. The one on that side is the original, but it looks fine, and everything on that side is good. We don't want to mess with that side. This side, it's just that short section, so hopefully they'll get it set in, and it'll be absolutely fine, and you'll have a handbrake on both sides of the car, and that's really it. There is no need for Nick to replace this handbrake cable, because I've actually got this theory: the nut was right at the top of the thread on that adjuster, almost like it was deliberately slackened. This is the original handbrake, but that cable was really slack, but it was almost like, was it binding before? Like it felt stiff.
2 clicks and it held.
See, that shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that stiff. I mean, it wasn't really adjusted out that far. Maybe the adjusters on your car are really good, and I do think the one on that side is really good. The one on this side probably is just as good if it was working. Obviously, we've got the foot brake adjusted, the handbrake hasn't, but from what we can see, they're both well adjusted, and this is the way you do it.
Tight enough for the MOT to pass.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, guys, I'm so sorry that we've not filmed half of this, but as you can imagine, we've had a SHIT day today.
Beep.
Yeah, it feels that way. This is the life of Mark 1 Focuses. It's not all smiles, and Nick has seen me in a rage today.
See that again.
No, not at all. So yeah, we're going to concentrate next time on some really nice jobs. So we're going to let the garage do the shit job, which actually we've done 90% of the work for them. Those brake hoses, I'll change them at some other point in the future. We put the old ones back on. We'll get the proper ones. I don't know how that's happened, but we'll get the proper ones. The other thing is, we've got a wheel trim to fit in a second. At the front, I think it's going to be engine mountings, and some inlet manifold gaskets, something nice under the bonnet. I could have done with that. It's a lovely day today, and well, it's been lovely weather, but our moods are solemnly bleh. But hopefully you're going to drive home with more power, because you've got better HT leads, and hopefully you'll feel the braking effort probably quite nice at the back. It will be unequal, because that side is a bit more tighter than this side, so just see how
I'm just a bit worried that I'm going to be fighting for speed.
I don't think you will be. We'll find out in a second, because you're going to move off, and we're going to end this video here. But I just want to show you just very quickly this new wheel trim here. We've got a genuine Ford one. The only difference is the aftermarket ones don't have the insignia. The genuine ones do. There isn't really a difference. So if we just 2022, goodness me. So they're still making these now. Quite honestly,
Shinier.
that is a nasty finish. That is nice.
It's nice and smooth.
Do you know what? There's a lot of difference, isn't there, between the two? Look at the two.
I see it on camera.
Look at that. That is nice and smooth. It's got like a lacquer finish. This. Can you hear it? Ooh. Need to get yourself some genuine ones. You got one, need 3 now. Keep these as the rubbish spares.
With the pop.
I know. That is expensive. That is really expensive, I have to say.
Wow.
The claw fixings, that feels a bit more loose. That feels firmer. That feels like more springy. So nice. Let's put it on. That was really firm. I tell you what, the finish on these are so nice. I do think that when you get some spare cash, I think you should, but that'll be for later. Yeah, I really like that. It's really glossy. Let's just hope it stays that way. We've also run out of cable ties as well. This is not good, is it? Well, we've got one thing to do before you take it on a quick route round the block just to see what's going on. Been a shame. The whole lot. Shame.